Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is Chief, and today we're going to be talking about Hump Day, Pump Day. Okay, this is starting from the bottom. Again, this is Chief, and I'm getting the doc on the line now. So 1 second. Hello. Yo, what up? Hump Day, Pump Day.
Oh, yeah. It's Hump Day. Oh, yeah.
That's right, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just tidying up all my stuff and making sure that I'm having a productive day. So, been pretty good. Been pretty good. Been getting a lot of stuff done today.
Right on, brother. Right on. Well, I have a quick story about Hump Day, Pump Day. And it happens to everybody, and I just want to get it out there, this morning, actually, let's start last night. Last night, I was to the point where I was like counting down the minutes till I get to go to bed because I was tired, I was exhausted. I had pumped, I had put in a long day yesterday. So that's exactly what I did. I was counting down the minutes, and then as soon as it was time to go to bed, took a shower, crashed out, right? So I woke up this morning to my alarm, and this is the thing that happens to everybody. It woke me up, and I put it on snooze, like I normally do. Like I have it set up where I snooze it once, and then I get up at the next one, and then I'm out of the door by 4:50, so I can be at the gym at 5, right? So I guess I hit it twice. I don't remember it going off the first time. And check this, man. I was late. I was late to the gym, and I was feeling all kinds of bad about myself. And I got there. I didn't have no time to stretch or nothing. And my buddies are working out, man. I'm like, damn. I was like, I'm late. So I was like, hey, man, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're just doing this real quick. I was like, oh, shit, I got to catch up, right? So I get there, and I'm just like, boom, 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 boom. And then, I guess I was moving pretty fast because these guys were like, oh, okay, so Eric's just jumping in. And they started moving fast, dude. And then next thing you know, we were all just, pumping and just working super hard. And it ended up being a cool day. I was late, but as soon as I got there, I just started pumping because I didn't want to be behind, and I wanted to catch up to them. And it was a great feeling.
Nice. I tell you, it's just, we're just living, bro. We're just living. I mean, it's just, we're just making ourselves better every day. And sometimes things like that will happen. That's great. You end up having all that energy and pumping everybody forward. I tell you what, I mean, I had a little bit, it was similar this morning. My alarm, I woke up before my alarm, which was great, right? I woke up before my alarm, and I was like, all right, cool. So then I usually have praise and worship. I do some praise and worship, and then a little bit of prayer, and then I'll get into some kind of motivational speeches,
Right.
to get my morning started. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw some praise and worship on, and I'm just gonna chill. And that chill turned into 5:45. And so I didn't get a chance to eat breakfast or anything. I usually eat breakfast around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And so I just, the next thing you know, I'm like, I snapped up. I didn't have a snooze or anything. I just snapped up, and I looked at the time. I'm like, oh shit, it's 5:45. And so I just, I didn't get a chance to eat breakfast, and today's leg day. And so it's like I needed to get my creatine. I mean, all my stuff that I needed to do before, I usually, I set myself up. And, I'm on my way to the gym or whatnot. I get there, and I'm there 5 minutes before the dude opens. So on that side, I get to simmer down a little bit. But then I'm working out, right? I'm busting my ass. And I can just feel it. I can body's like, dude, where's my food? Where's my protein? Where's my, and I'm like, oh, shit.
You're just a little bit tired now, huh? You're just like, oh, it's like you're working just a little bit extra hard for the same shit you already do, right?
And so what I did was, I was like, dude, you know what? All right. If that's what it's gonna be like, and I'm gonna mess myself up, I'm just gonna stack up some weights there. I'm just gonna fucking push hard. And so I double stacked the squat, and I was just dude, it was epic. It was great. And I could barely walk when I got out. My back, everything. I was just raw. And I get back to the spot, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna eat. I'm not gonna eat. I'm not gonna eat until I'm done doing my shit, because that's what you get for being late. You know what I mean?
So you just beat yourself up even more. Wow.
I'm like, you want to be a little bitch and just, you want to do that. You want to play yourself again? Now you ain't gonna eat all day. And I just ate about an hour ago.
So you're punishing yourself.
Yeah. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. Yeah, I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. But I had that little stupid snooze time where I just passed out. And instead of getting up, I was in the praise and worship tonight. I get up. I'm active. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm, getting my stuff ready, getting my bag ready, and all that other shit. This time I just turned around and I just set myself up. And I was like, all right, now, yeah. I basically just punished myself. I was like, dude, you're not going to eat. I don't care how hungry you are, and I don't care how damaging it is. It's like you should have thought about that shit earlier this morning. And so, I don't think I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. Because that shit is no fun. I want to eat, and I got to have my meals, bro. Because my body's like, what are you doing, bro? Because I should have had my third meal by now. And I'm at 30 having my first meal, bro. My stomach's like, my body's like, where's everything at? And I'm just, I know, I probably lost about an inch off my arms. I'm like, dude, it's no good. It's just no good. And so anyway, but it was cool because I still got, I was getting home, I was hungry. I'm like, dude, the faster I get all this shit done, right? The faster I get all this shit done, I get to eat. It's basically what it came down to.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, finally I'm sitting down and I have my 2 eggs, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not compounding. I'm not making up for it. I'm just gonna have my 2 eggs. I'm gonna go where I if I miss what I missed, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't go back. I can't go back to 4 o'clock this morning.
Right. That's just a taste of what happens when that whole mentality that you have right now. That's just a taste of what happens when someone falls off the wagon, or when someone misses a day. You feel that all day. You know what I mean? That beating yourself up. That's the same stuff that you do.
Yeah. But that takes away from the excuse. Like, I could have been like, oh, no, it's cool, man. You were tired, and, praise and worship was good this morning, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, bullshit. I'm glad that I was able to wait. My body was like, what the fuck, dude, you're late. I'm glad my body reacted, or, the muscle memory or the neurons in my brain fired up. They're like, dude, you should be stepping out the door already. That's what made me get up. And so I rushed it. I got to the gym. I did all that side of it, but I still missed, the most important part of my day.
Yeah. So check this out, man. My client, this is day 2. We're gonna meet 3 days a week, okay? So I met her on Monday, and then on today I was supposed to meet her for day number 2, right? Wrong. The meetup time comes 7 o'clock, and nowhere to be found. So I get on the phone. I'm like, hey, what's up? Where you at? You know, like, what's going on? And I woke her up. I had to wake her up, and that just threw the whole plans off, you know. And then, you know, she's like, well, can we do it at 7:30? I was like, sure. 7:30 rolls around, and no, we're not going. You know, like it just happened like that, and we had just talked about it. And I told her, I was like, hey, look, I was like, I understand that, you know, things happen, and I understand that you're sore or whatever like that, but you know, you made an appointment now because you missed the appointment. That throws off my day. Now I gotta push you back 30 minutes, which pushes, you know, my work, you know, when I start, you know, my other stuff that I do. I had to push that back, you know, 30 minutes. Um, and then, you know, it happened 2 times this morning, and I was like, I can't have that. It's like, it's not gonna happen again, right? Nope, it's not gonna happen again. That's what she told me. So that's just another example, man. Like of how you know, what it is to be human, I guess. You know what Hump Day really is about. You know, like Hump Day is the middle of the week, man. You just gotta kind of pump through it. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy is that I never looked at it that way. I didn't even know what I thought hunting meant like literally like I'm like why would people have a like? Cause I hunt well when I was married anyways. I hunt you know 2 3 times a day, bro. You know not more.
Oh, dang.
So I was like you know I don't understand this whole wait until Wednesday to hunt. I was like I never knew what hunting was, bro. You know where I learned what hunting was in the car business. I was like 30-something years old until I found out what hunting meant.
Man, you crazy.
I'm serious. I never knew hunting meant that it was the middle of the week.
Yeah.
I never knew it. I was like, dude, I'm like, well, I mean, I guess people want to get specific about, you know, I guess you go get a room or something. I don't know. I would just like listen to people talk about hunting. I'm like, yeah, I guess. You know, I don't put my stuff out there like that, but sure.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I remember who I was talking to, and someone's like looking at me. I remember it was a female too. They're looking at me all funny, and I was like, well, you know, it's like, well, I thought you were telling me you wanted to come.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, I just remember that story. It's a story that I'll always remember.
That's funny, man. That's too funny.
Yeah, no, but you know, besides that, I mean, it's like okay, well, for me, it's you know, it's the middle of the week, but it's the beginning of a new business. You know, I'm getting ready. I'm getting everything ready. You know, I was hunting down my sources of where I'm going to be getting my stuff from. You know, I was hunting down my all of my I guess the resources. You know, all of my vendors. You know what you know how I'm going to set everything up, so that way I can easily just cycle through the vending process. How I'm going to do it, so I can be as efficient as I can right now. You know, I got that kind of stuff done. I was almost going to give up on a certain product that I'm going to be producing, and then it just you know I didn't give up. It was the last store, and I found the stuff that I was looking for, and I'm like, dude, and they have it all the time. I'm not going to be worried about them like not only having it seasonally, and so it's on. It's time. I just have to place the order for the other things that I need in order for me to start cooking. And it's you know in about I don't know 10 days or so.
Wow, that's awesome.
You know, so I should be ready to start in about 10 days. So I'll just have enough time to get everything ready in order. I'm just yeah, it's just gonna be great.
You know, going on that topic, you know, the whole thing about starting from the bottom, right? Is, you know, this is what people are actually having to go through to scrape to try to achieve their goals, to try to achieve their dreams, you know. And you're doing it without nothing, and I think that's super commendable. I think that's super awesome, man. And I just want to like lay that out there and say you're doing a good job. Um, and two other people are out there that are just like you, man. They're all going through the same struggle, and you're vulnerable enough to put it out there on the air. You know what I mean? So thanks again for that. And just like you, man, I've been grinding. I set aside a budget, for my mortgage business, and you know, uh, I had been waiting, for to be in this to be able to be in this financial position and be able to do what I'm doing. So I I allotted, a certain a good hefty amount to my account, which is my investment account, which is investing in in leads and stuff like that for myself. And it's like a big step, and it's the scary step too, because when you're purchasing leads, you're getting what you get, and then I'm doing it for myself now, which they've always been provided for me, so now it's well, not always, but it's always been a little bit easier to get leads and whatnot. But now that I'm producing them all myself the way that I want to, that's what I'm talking about, the way that I want to. It's new and it's unfolding pretty cool, and it's fun to see that you're kind of going through the same thing. You know what I mean? You're just taking those steps, and I already put the investment out there, and it's all prepaid, I should say, and now I'm just waiting to see the rewards, and it'll take 30 days. I'm giving it 30 days, and it's a good time frame. That's how I can be a good judge of conversions in business and closings and whatnot. So it's just fun to see it all unfold.
And you know what? This is what's so great about what we're doing right now. This is why I like what we're doing at the stage that we're at right now, at the frequency that we're at right now, because it's we're really at the bottom right now, and the thing is, it's just like anybody else out there that's listening to us. We can make the same decisions that everybody else can make out there. We get a little bit of money, and let's go to Dave and Buster's and get fucked up.
Yeah, let's go get some drinks, dude.
Yeah, let's get rich. Let's live like we're rich men tonight, so we're poor the rest of the fucking month. And it's like, we can do what poor people do. And it's like, it's hard because we want to do those things. We want to do those things right now, just like everybody else.
You're absolutely right.
But it's like, no, fucker, right? I'm talking to myself here. I'm like, no, fucker, you're not going to do that shit. It's like my food. I wanted to eat it, but no, fucker, you're not going to eat it because you fucked up. And so it's like, that's the same thing with the money. It's like, I don't have the money to say, I'm going to go, I'm going to give you a perfect example. The young lady that I was coaching, that I was helping, and I told you about this story before, and, I'll bring a little bit more back on it now, is she finally comes up with the money, and she's in position. I'm like, all right, cool, let's get it done. I'll help you. I'll go over there and help you finish with the transaction and whatnot. And the next thing you know, I don't hear from her for like 3 or 4 days. And then I'm like, what's going on? And then so I finally get a hold of her, and I'm like, what's up? What happened? And she's like, oh no, it's just that I really wanted to get my baby his pictures, and I spent the money on getting his pictures. And I'm sitting there like, you fucking dumbass. You're so fucking stupid for spending the money that you have so you can buy a limited amount of pictures. You're more worried about a couple of pictures to send to your family who don't even really give a shit, because they're going to put those pictures maybe on a wall, maybe a couple of people are going to put it on a wall, most of those people are just going to put them in some drawer somewhere, and you're going to be broke. And then now what?
Listen to this, folks. Listen to this. You know, this is just logic. This is real shit that happens. This is real life. Keep going, Fonz. I like it.
And I'm telling you, it blows my mind because I'm looking at this little guy. You know, she's a single mom. I'm looking at this little guy, and it's like she's holding his future in her hands, and she just fucks it off. And it's like, now what? And so it's been, since the last time we talked about it, it's been 4 months. And and now I talked to her, and you know what she told me? She's like, I wish I would have listened to you. And it's like, you're dumb. Because the wishing fucking well is not real. You know, and now she's got a job that she can't stand. She's not making enough money. And she's having to leave her kid now for 10, 12, 13 hours out of the day to go to a fucking dead-end job that she's not happy at. And I'm like, and I told her, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that this shit's happening to you right now. Not because I'm glad, I'm sad, but I'm glad that it's happening to you right now so you can feel the misery of not eating like I didn't eat this fucking morning. You can feel the bit of your stupid mistake, but you're still alive and you can still come back from it. But you just missed fucking 4 or 5 months of your life on a stupid mistake. Like going to the casino, or spending it on weed, or spending it on beer, or spending, not that you can't have fun. But shit, get your shit done first. And once you get your shit done, the money's gonna come to do the things that you want to do. I really want a bottle of tequila. I really want one. But in order for me to have that bottle, I'm gonna make sure I get this shit done. And when I get my first profitable month or week or whatever it is, I promise you, I'm gonna get the bottle that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna talk about it too. I'm gonna post that shit on Facebook. I'm like, remember that? What's the name's doing? What's the name's doing?
The first.
The fucking first? I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't even know when it's gonna happen, but I know it's gonna happen. I don't care when it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen.
You're gonna get your bottle of tequila.
I'm gonna get my bottle of tequila because I did the things that I was supposed to do first.
Mm-hmm.
Not spending on some stupid pictures or I don't know, whatever it is that we do.
Dinners, drinks, going out to dinner during the week. You know, eating out because you're too lazy to cook the food that you have at home. Or eating out for 5 nights a week instead of going one day to the grocery store to get food for 2 weeks.
Right. I was tempted, bro. I was tempted today. There's places to eat everywhere, right? I was tempted, bro. I was hungry. I'm like, I gotta, you know. And I started telling myself, shut up. I had to tell myself in the car. I think I probably look crazy, but because maybe, you know, people talk in the cars now because there's phones, you know, intercoms in cars. Maybe I didn't look too crazy, but I was really literally telling myself to shut up because I had money in my pocket that was burning in my pocket, and I was like, you're just finding an excuse to burn money. Shut your ass up. You ain't eating, fucker. You should have ate earlier this morning. You could have ate it at home and had you woke your ass up. You can wait till you get back to the fucking place and eat. And that's exactly what I did. You know, and it was hard. It wasn't easy. I had to sit there and fight with myself. I wasn't fighting with my wife. I wasn't fighting with my kids.
There's nobody to blame it on anymore.
Oh, I was fighting with myself.
There's nobody to blame it on anymore.
No, it was just me.
We wear everything now. You know? Once all the excuses ran out, you wear everything, and that's it. There is no going back. That's your new life. You just wear your own shit. And how good are you presenting yourself? Now you can really look at it. Now you can judge yourself. You know,
right?
Because you now have the ability to see yourself in a different perspective.
Yes, sir.
And you're you're smart enough to know the reasoning why and the reasoning behind it and the reasoning for your decision and the reason why you are doing or not taking action.
And that's it. Is realizing the realization of what it is, what those habits were, or what those things are. We all got them.
You know, mine really was, you know, and you know that I'm going to talk on my reason. You know, instead of making an example, we'll just talk about my example. My example is I had so many options. You know, I'm a smart person. I like to think. You know, I'm not like a fucking Einstein or something like that, but I think I have a lot of common sense. And I think I can make, you know, something from nothing. So I've done time and time again. So that's why, you know, I say that. But from my, you know, like using my experience, I forgot what we're talking about. What we're talking about?
Well, no, but you know what? You got so framed in being smart that you took it outsmarted yourself.
Exactly.
What you were talking about was that, and this is the conversation we had yesterday, and all your options, your problem is that you just like mine.
I needed to narrow it down to choose one thing. I needed one baseline to start from, you know, and then I can start my conglomerate afterwards, you know, instead of working on actually like about 5 different, you know, parts of my business, my overall business, that, you know, like my big picture business. I need to lay that foundation, and I decided to do that, you know, with the mortgage business, and I decided to put all my eggs in that basket, whether I know it's going to take off or not, because I'm still in that testing period, and you know, this month is for testing, you know, and I'm a business owner, so that means this investment that I made is not promised. I just made it just for testing, you know what I mean? I spent a lot of money just for testing. So now I have to hope it works out, and if it doesn't, you know, I have to think of a new strategy for next month. You know, how I'm going to spend the next month's budget, or am I just going to let it ride? You know, so it's fun. It's interesting watching this unfold, because, like you said, you know, instead of going to a casino or something like that, or going out to get drinks or dinners and whatnot, I'm taking that money and I'm reinvesting it into myself. So if I get a deal or 2 deals, that's, you know, potentially, you know, I don't know, maybe quadruple my investment.
Right. And it starts off with the first deal. That's what it comes down to.
I'm putting a lot of time, money, and effort into getting a deal this month. You know, because I know that deal will pay off and pay for more deals and deals and deals down the road. And you know, and it's just great to be in the financial position, but I had to cut out a lot of things. You know, I had to I'm not even saying sacrifice. I'm just saying I had to cut out, you know, things that don't serve me, so I'm able to do this and, you know, still have a life. You understand?
Absolutely, yes, I understand. I'm going to the same shit.
And it feels great. It feels great knowing I'm making the good decision. I'm making the right decision.
Absolutely, it does. You know, I thought, of course, you know, we might have our doubts a little or whatnot. I mean, we're human. It's going to be like, oh shit, scary, because we're not. We're visionaries. We see what we want, and we know it's there. We just haven't touched it yet because we saw it before we got it. And because when you see before, that's what it means to dream. You know, and it's like I'm dreaming it before I'm doing it, before I've seen it. And it's like, you know, then I see it, and then it's like, okay, what's my next step? Like, I went and I checked out a spot, right? I'll give you like an example of what I ended up doing today to finally close that door, because it was just it's not time yet. And so basically, it's $16,500 what it costs a month to rent this place out, right? And it's like, fuck, it's a lot of money, right? And but if it's being rented out for that, that means that place is making you this much money, right? Like I know already because I've been in there and done that. I understand what that means. That's big money. That's big boy shit. That's plain cash flow. That's a big deal. I need to close that fucking door for a minute. I know I'm going to get to it. That's my goal. My goal is a big deal. And that place is beautiful. It's got tables. It's a beautiful place. It's just a beautiful spot. But it's a big deal. I need to get down to the small deal cards, and my investment on what I'm going to do is going to be enough to get the things that I need to get started, and enough to get my products, and being able to set myself up for the reciprocal of it. I mean, I'm just going to be able to, it's like I'm going to throw it out there, and I know that it's going to come back because I've done it before. I've done the business side of it before for other people, so I know that it works. I'm just doing it for myself now.
Yeah, that's
scary.
And why is it like that? Why is it scary? Like for me, I've done it over and over and over again. I was in the top position at number of places that I worked at because of my work ethic and the way I just do things. But when it comes to doing it for myself, why did I always put so much stigma on it? Like it's such a big freaking deal,
And that's the enemy. That's the enemy within us. It's false evidence appearing real. It's just not real because we know that we can do it. I've made millions, not for myself. I've made others millions, and so it's like being afraid of success. Like I'm afraid to succeed because for so long people told me that I was nothing. For so long, I know I'm talking to somebody out there because for so long, someone said, nah, bro, you just stick to this shit. Nah, bro, this and that. We live in a society of nah, bros. We live in a society of just, people that don't want to see you grow because they don't want to feel bad. Because they're in a shitty spot, they're lazy, they don't want to do shit with their lives except play fucking Xbox and video games. And don't want to get up off the couch and drop the bomb for a minute to go do something positive and then hit the bomb when they were successful. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm not judging anybody for what they do, but I'm judging people for what they're not doing. Because I was one of them. But I wasn't one of them for a long time. What I'm saying is that I was one of them, but at the same time, I was one of them. No, I wasn't the one that was sitting around, playing video games all day and not working. No, I was the one that went to work for 16 hours and found a way to play video games for the next 2 hours before I passed out and started my stupid dead life as a zombie over every single day, just like the most of the population that's out there right now.
Right.
Those people are in jobs that they're not happy with. I was one of those, absolutely, all day.
Yeah, and that's why I decided to make that transition, to working for myself and starting from the bottom. And like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of things that I could have done or I did wrong, but I wanted to do it my way. And when you want to do it your way, you're gonna do it the hard way. And the funny thing is that so many people already have it mapped out, and they're like, "Why didn't you do this?" And you end up doing it in the end. So yeah, we are doing it their way. That's the only way. Is just to start doing. Just give it a shot. Get the ball rolling so you can gain some momentum later on down the road, so there's not so much work for you to do later because you're doing you're doing a little bit every day. And especially when you have like a 10-day waiting period for different things, now that I'm able to put this investment out there, there's a lot of tools and a lot of like ad copy and links and data that I have collected, clients and follow-up lists and autoresponders. I have all that. I had all that already set up, and it just took me a long time to be able to get to a point where it's all starting to work together, and I understand it because I've been practicing 1 and 2 years. Some people might get it easy, and there's a lot of people that don't. Those people that get it easy are the ones you see like doing the same thing I'm going to do, but it just takes me a little bit longer. And there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, I might be in it, for the long run. So I have to learn how to do it right. I have to learn how to do it right the first time before I go and blow it. You know what I mean?
You're learning your craft.
Learning and perfecting the craft. And, that goes just for practicing, with this YouTube channel for people that are out there, like if you want to start a YouTube channel, you have to do it consistently. You have to make sure that you're putting the content out there that people, are interested or that you want to be here for, like we're talking about real life situations. We're talking about starting from the bottom, and these are, two guys that are actually starting from the bottom, and there it is, like.
And it's great, and you'll get to see, like, our first videos are, this video already is better than all of our videos.
Yeah.
It's only getting better each time. It's just getting better and better. And because we're getting better and better.
We have more stuff to talk about,
Right.
There's more growth. We see it. We're able to talk about it as it goes along.
Yeah. It's tough. Like your girl, not your girl, but the one you're training,
Yeah.
She's going through the process that we just went through of the pain and agony of the what's it called? The pain that she has from going to the gym. It's like, I know what it feels like. I went through it a month ago. Last month I couldn't get out of bed. I was like, everything hurt. I could barely move.
And it's the same thing about like having a subscription to something that you don't use or you should be using but you're not, and you're still paying for it. Say like a gym membership.
Yeah.
You can compare it to that. It's the same thing. Why? Because it makes you feel the same way.
What you subscribe to, I think that's what you're doing. I like that. You subscribe to that channel. You subscribe to that channel. Well, that's fucking gold right there. You're subscribing to that channel. If you're in that channel of just of bullshit, of just mediocrity, nothing's getting done, or you're in that channel of, I'm trying to get out, but I'm not really sure, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're that channel. We're that channel that's putting it all out there. We don't care. It's like, look at my gun. I'm just throwing my junk out there. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah. And this morning, my only excuse why I haven't done what I did this morning, like last month, is because I wasn't in the position to do it just yet. So now, as soon as I became in the position, I made sure to handle all the stuff that I needed to handle last night. So when I got up today, there would be no excuses except for me just to get to work. And immediately, when I started working this morning, when I sat down and I began to sit at my work, I've spent 90% of my time on developing, ads for my business like I want to, publishing them, making sure they're right, getting all my programs up to date, making sure that all my links are going to go to the right spot. So when people are trying to contact me, when people are trying to get, get what they need from me, it's done, and it looks professional, and things are going my way. So it takes time to do those things, and I did those things today. I invested yesterday. I did, and I started, putting that investment to work today. Why? Because it's the first.
Right. I didn't realize it was the first, but I'm glad that I started. Like I say, I don't know what day I'm in. I'm just getting shit done. I'm just working. I got my eyes on the ground. Keeping myself. What's the saying? Down and dirty. I'm just down and dirty on the grind, and I'm not done. After this, we're about to close this off here, and I gotta get back on the grind. I gotta start, getting my profit and my profit margins, and I gotta start setting up my costs. I gotta start setting up all that shit, because that's what's next, right? And so it's not fun, but I gotta find a way to make it fun. If I gotta drink my way through it, I gotta smoke my way through it. I got whatever it takes. Just get the shit done.
Just get it done, buddy. And then with that, thanks, YouTube. Appreciate it. Again, this is Chief talking with Doc. Doc, say hello. All right. Thanks again, YouTube. Have a good one. We'll talk to you on the next one.